with the 20th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Kenny Pickett.
Time now for Pro Football Fast Break, the show that brings you unfiltered, unapologetic, opinionated, pure pro football talk. Now let's go to the guys with this week's show.
Yeah.
And we're back on Pro Football Fast Break. It's time for us to crown the winners and losers in the 2022 NFL Draft. And, of course, this is subjective, and no one has. In fact, I was watching today, I think the NFL channel, they were talking about how grading the draft is so irrelevant. It's, you get a grade A, you get a grade C minus. It doesn't mean shit. Because really, at the end of the day, it's how you develop the players and the fit. But we can still have fun and say who won and lost.
Well, I think the winner of the draft is the Steelers because we got our franchise quarterback. We got the best quarterback in the draft, who is an upgrade over Mitch Trubisky for the future, obviously. 20th overall. And then we went and took Pickens, and that guy could end up being a superstar, a wide receiver.
That's true.
And the DeMarvin Leal dude that we got in the third round is a beast. And Calvin Austin III, Memphis wide receiver, is insanely fast. So that's another fast wide receiver. And we get Cam Hayward's brother to add all that into it.
I think it's a fair argument. I know some will argue it, but you do have to acknowledge that we sat here and sweated this out. There's no way there's a quarterback for the Steelers in that pick.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Steelers got a starting in this NFL draft. The Steelers got a starting quarterback, which is the most important position in football by far, no question. Then we went and got a receiver who's going to play week 1 and has potential to be one of the best receivers. We got another good fast receiver for depth, a good D lineman, and Cam Hayward's brother.
I mean, here's where you're right about the quarterback. You look at this and you say Detroit had a chance. Houston wasn't going to do that. Jets weren't.
Panthers, Saints.
Giants. And not only did the Giants have one chance, they had two.
Yeah.
And then the Falcons with Marcus Mariota. The Falcons are sitting with Marcus Mariota and passed.
And had multiple chances.
And passed on a quarterback. So, I mean, Seattle, which we've talked about the entire offseason with no quarterback, passed on a quarterback. Think about what that's saying. Detroit came up again, passed on a quarterback.
Yep.
Honestly, the Commanders came up, passed on a quarterback.
It's almost like it was like rigged for us to get him.
It was like fate. We'll call it fate.
Yeah.
I mean, So the fact that we thought, okay, look, if somebody picks one quarterback, we still have a chance. They picked no quarterbacks.
I know.
Well, then we take Pickett, to your point, but then when's the next quarterback selected? Round 3. That's crazy.
There was no one.
We actually got a pick again to where we could have taken the next quarterback off the board. Like there was no other quarterback.
I think we had like 2 chances.
Meaning like also it makes you question, could we have got Pickett a whole pick later, or Malik 2 picks later, or 3 picks later?
Yeah, like, Malik, but not Pickett.
Not Pickett.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing. I was second guessing, saying, are we wrong? And the rest of the NFL is right. But no, it was Pickett and then everyone else.
Yeah.
Remember,
someone would have snagged him.
Pickett was a Heisman finalist. No, like.
And remember our podcast from the Senior Bowl? All we talked about was Pickett. Like, I was there, and I was there to see Pickett. I wasn't there talking about anyone else at quarterback.
So was any NFL scout or coach, or like everyone was there for Pickett.
No, the Steelers definitely had, out of all the teams in the draft, Steelers have to be a top 3 team because they got the best quarterback, a great receiver in the second round, a good D lineman in the third round, and added speed at receiver with the Memphis guy. Who was one of the fastest players at the combine. And Connor Hayward.
Now, if you want to be objective and say it's not the Steelers, would you not have to go Jets next?
Yeah, no, that would,
There's Jets, but I might say Bills. I might say Bills because they took Dalvin Cook's brother and they got one of the better cornerbacks in the league. I'm pretty sure, like that weird, like Elam, and James Cook. It's pretty.
Oh, they got quarterback Elam. Yeah,
in the first round.
In the first round.
I think so. Yeah.
I'll give you that.
And it's just adding to an amazing roster. So like that definitely was a pretty good draft from the Bills.
Yeah.
They did have a good draft. You're right.
I think the top 3 teams in no order: Steelers, Jets, Eagles.
Yeah.
Eagles. Now, why the Eagles?
Yeah.
Why
Eagles? Just because they traded their first for A.J. Brown, who is better at this moment than every single player in the draft.
I love that move. Just like I loved Minka Fitzpatrick. Giving up your number 1 pick for Minka because it's a sure thing. These picks are not a sure thing.
Well, it's Jalen Hurts is now throwing the ball to Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. That's a nice ass. Those are 2 nice receivers to have.
That's a whole nother topic for another podcast. But where are the Eagles now? Are the Eagles finally going to be good?
They might. I mean, they might win the NFC East.
Just what are you going to do with Jalen Hurts is my question.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do with that QB? You have they're building such a good young team around him, but I just don't know how much he can execute.
It's Jalen Hurts, Miles Sanders, Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, Dallas Goedert. That's a nice offense.
Yeah.
Make a note. We should do a deep dive on the Eagles soon.
Yeah.
Because that's...
And the Bills.
And the Bills. Let's just see how good those... Well, the Bills we know are fantastic, but...
Yeah.
Have the Eagles. Are they good enough now? I don't know.
And yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, I don't think. I mean, the Eagles were in the playoffs last year, so
right. So they only got better.
Yeah, they're obviously not worse. Yeah, they had an AJ Brown, had a decent draft.
The consensus is the winners are in no order: Steelers, Jets, Eagles, Buffalo. As Tim threw in.
I think you got to throw if you're going to throw Buffalo, you got to put the Ravens.
The Ravens for sure.
Yeah, because the Ravens got the best safety in the draft at 14. They turned Hollywood Brown into the best center in the draft, Tyler Linderbaum.
Yeah, that was the pick. Those 2 picks alone. That's all you need.
So, they got the best safety and the best center.
Those are such important positions.
Yeah,
but they don't really have a good receiver at all.
Yeah, I guess the reason the Bills works is not really because like they had cool picks, but then they're already the best team in the league. So no matter what they did, no matter what they did, they won't have a bad draft because like it doesn't even matter. But James Cook is a sick team for Dalvin Cook's brother to go to.
I would say, Steelers, Jets, and Eagles are in the top 3. And honestly, I know the Titans traded away AJ Brown. Yeah, I can't necessarily say that they had a great draft, but they got Malik Willis in the 3rd round. And they got a receiver in the
and they took
round.
A receiver to replace AJ.
It puts them up there. I think it puts them up there. That Malik pick was fantastic. Yeah, that was brilliant. I mean,
losers would be Falcons,
Cowboys,
and Texans too.
Texans, yeah,
because they picked. Well, I mean, again, we don't know the answer here, but they took Stingley over Sauce.
Yeah. I mean, but I can't even really blame them that much.
So it's hard to say they had such a bad draft, I guess.
I would say Chicago had a pretty shitty-ass draft.
I feel like Chicago's trending in the wrong direction for sure.
Chicago is just getting worse. Which
the Lions kind of did well.
They got Hutchinson.
They got Aiden Hutchinson, like a receiver,
True.
one of the good ones.
The Lions actually did have a good draft, yeah.
They had a lot of picks. 2 in the first round, at least.
Yeah.
Do you think Green Bay had a good draft, in your opinion?
No.
I don't either.
Well, no, definitely not. I would have to say not at all.
Based on need.
If they didn't take a receiver early enough. Yeah, based on need, no. Like those 2 defensive guys from Georgia they took in the first round, I'm sure they're good players.
Yeah.
Do they need them? No.
It's a question.
I would say the Bucks. The Bucks took a O-lineman who might get the left guard job. Luke Godicki. They took a tight end, the Cade Otton guy, for Brady, and they got a pass-catching running back, Rashad White. And another tight end, too. Like, just all for Brady. That a left guard for Brady, 2 tight ends for Brady, and a receiving back.
Yeah.
All right, there was a team that took 6 picks and turned it into 11, and that was the Chicago Bears. And you ask, what do you mean? Well, obviously you trade back in the draft, so you have pick 10. You say I'll swap with you, but you give me another pick. And apparently they kept doing that to where they had 11 picks, but that's 11 worse picks than every other team in the NFL. So is it a smart move or not?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, if you think about it in the sense of they have 11 guys, one of them's bound to be pretty starting worthy. Maybe you're doubling your odds of getting a guy that could play.
But you gave up.
I obviously it wasn't a good choice because without even knowing that, I said that their draft was bad because they didn't take anyone good. They didn't get better. So,
well, that's the
they
point.
went through the draft, didn't get better. Even the Falcons, who had a shitty draft, still got better. They got a rookie quarterback and a rookie receiver, which no matter what is an improvement.
I don't think the draft has ever been about volume. I mean, you could have
How
one
many
pick.
picks you have?
Yeah, it's about obviously it's finding that star.
If you're the Jets and you have 4 picks within the first 36 picks, that's really good. But the Bears,
they had a ton of late picks.
They had other, so no, that's not good because the average 5th round pick isn't ever going to see the field.
Well, I was saying to someone, it sounds interesting, and they were like toting that, like we turned it into 11 picks, and I was thinking, focus on what the Steelers do, what Green Bay does, and what New England does. And would they have done that? No. They keep it basic. We get the player we need that's our fit. And we'll move up and give up a pick to do it. Or we'll move back if we don't need a quarterback in a given year, which rarely happens for the Steelers and those teams because they're good. Moving back to pick up more volume of picks to get worse players, that's like the theory of saying, well, because this guy's in the draft, he's better than Sam Darnold. Well, no, he isn't necessarily. Like just because they're a college player coming out doesn't make him better than Marcus Mariota or Sam Darnold.
I mean, it makes them worse because those guys were all top college players coming out one day too, and it took them 5 years to even see a starting job. They're worse usually. You could assume every rookie in the draft's worse than Sam Darnold and Marcus Mariota, and you'd probably be right. But
I almost think the opposite strategy.
So I guess a late round pick is worthless.
I'd rather do the opposite strategy.
What the teams that are good every year do is they wait till their pick at 25 because they had a playoff season. They take the best guy available that they need, and then they do it again each round, and they normally get better every time. The Steelers get the Steelers have drafted Najee, TJ Watt, and Pickett all 20 and later.
That's crazy.
Like it's clear we got the defensive MVP, and our rookie running back was a top 4 running back in the league, and he was drafted later than 20.
Well, this is what I'm saying. This is what I was saying to you on draft night. Like the best players out of the draft, probably on average, are the guys that come in the late first round picks because those are first round caliber players, but they're going to actual
good teams,
real franchise, real organizations, and they can actually be developed properly instead of like the first 10 guys off the board. They go to some shit team that
put
had
Trevor on the field. He'll save us.
Yeah, Trevor got taken to like a good team. He'd probably be good right now. And we wouldn't.
They're also just bad at their jobs, like the GMs and shit. Like they draft busts first overall constantly.
Yeah.
Then the Steelers, New England Packers, doesn't matter when they draft their guys. The guys end up being great.
It's funny, and I just think that whole theory, the whole notion that I think the opposite strategy is better, meaning if you have a chance to get a guy like Minka, like A.J. Brown, and you give up your first pick and even another pick, that's a smart move because just because a kid's coming out of college, how does it make him better than an NFL player? It doesn't make sense. It's not logical.
It makes him worse.
As always, to make a comment or suggestion, email us profootballfastbreak@gmail.com or hit our Twitter feed @PFBFastBreak, and you're going to see that in the show notes. So closing thoughts for the week. Tim, what was the theme of this week's show?
I would say that it's definitely not a quarterback draft. It's a receiver draft this year. I'd say that the Steelers and Jets won the draft.
Okay, Tim's going Steelers and Jets. Jacob, what was the theme of this week's show?
Steelers and Jets won the draft, and the Bears and Packers lost the draft. And the weird thing is, last year we thought the Bears won the draft, but they actually ended up worse.
Yeah.
Almost, than
Yeah,
they
we
had been
liked, I
before.
remember that. We really liked the Fields pick.
That's
We
true.
thought the Bears were going to be like 13-3 or something, 13-4
That's
before the
right.
season started, and they were shit.
Man, it didn't work at all.
Yeah, like they got worse in every way.
And then they gave their quarterback to us.
Oh yeah.
Hey, thanks for listening to Pro Football Fast Break. We have one ask. If you like what you've heard, tell a friend, text them now, or share it on your social media. Or Tim, tell them hit the damn website.
ProFootballFastBreak.com.
Where you got links to all of our shows, season 1, season 2. And make sure you check out our last show, 71, because we went through picks 1 through 11. A little bit more in depth. So check that out. And you're going to find us everywhere fine podcasts are heard. That's it for me. I'm Don saying, hey, peace out. He's Jacob.
Peace.
He's Tim.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to Pro Football Fast Break. Be here each week as the guys bring you a fresh take from the world of pro football. Until next time.